Hey, how you doing? Justin back with you to explain some F chord cheats. Now, even though I'm calling them cheats, these are great chords in their own right, and there are times where you would prefer to use these chords than a full bar chord F. So they're not just cheats, but they will kind of get you out of jail a little bit. The first couple of chords we're going to look at are called F major 7. Well, we're going to learn F major 7 / C, which means F major 7th with a C as the bass note. And we're going to look at a mini F chord, which just uses the thinnest 4 strings. The major 7th chords are a good substitute for F most of the time, but you have to use your ears because there are times where a major 7th type chord just doesn't sound right. There are theory rules that will explain that if you want to get into it, but I don't recommend you go down that route. I think you just, if you can't play a big F, you try F major 7 and you see. If it sounds good, great, use it. If it doesn't sound good, then you either have to leave that song or battle on a little bit more to get your F chord, or use this little F that we're going to talk, which should be achievable for most of you this lesson within a couple of weeks practice. So let's go through them one at a time in a close-up. The first chord that we're going to look at is this chord, which is an F major 7. Just uses the thinnest 4 strings only, so the thickest 2 strings aren't going to be used. Third finger is going on the 3rd fret of the 4th string. The tip of it should try and mute the 5th string. Actually, if the 5th string is left open, it doesn't sound too bad. It's called F major 7 / A. Meaning that it's got an A bass note. So A is a note in the chord anyway, that's why it doesn't sound too bad. But I would recommend you practice getting that 3rd finger just to mute, very lightly touch there the 5th string, so it's muted up. Shouldn't have too many problems getting that note right. We've then got 2nd finger, 2nd fret of the 3rd string. If that note is muted, it's going to be the fault of the 3rd finger laying down a little flat. So just make sure you're up enough onto the tip of the 3rd finger to let that note ring out clearly. Then we got the 1st finger, 1st fret of the 2nd string. Again, if it's muted like that, it's the fault of the 2nd finger laying a bit too flat. So make sure that's right on the tip as well. And then lastly, we've got the thinnest string open. Now, again, if that one is being muted, it's most likely going to be 1st finger laying down a little flat like that. So you want to make sure, again, 1st finger is right on the tip. Some of you might find that it's the underneath of that 1st finger might be muting it as well. So have a little experiment. Ideally, you want to leave just a little gap there between the neck and the 1st finger. Okay, it doesn't want to be just touching. It can do later on, but especially if you're having any problems there, just leave even a millimeter is enough. Just a slightest gap there. Now, the angle of the fingers is important. It's much like the C chord. So there's C chord, there's F major 7. And this is a fantastic change to be working on anyway, is C to F major 7. Because they're very commonly found together. And you can see there the angle, so it's like with the C chord, you don't want to be doing that. That's really difficult. There's loads of tension now in my arm and in my hand. It's just too stretchy. You want to be looking at making sure the fingers are kind of touching each other. The 1st finger and the 2nd finger and 3rd finger are all touching each other to get that major 7th sound. Definitely a good thing to practice is going from the C chord to the F chord. It should help you keep your fingers nicely locked together and, forming the nice shape, the correct shape. The next chord we're going to check out is called an F major 7 / C. Now the slash means over a different bass note. We're going to explore those a little bit more later in this course. But the basic idea here is that we're taking our big F bar chord and we're moving our 1st finger down so it's just playing the 1st fret on the 2nd string. The thicker string is muted. So we're going to have 3rd finger, 3rd fret, 5th string, little finger, 3rd fret, 4th string, 2nd finger and 1st finger where they were for the regular major 7th, and still with that open string. Okay, making sure the thicker string is muted here. If you have that, it's particularly obnoxious having F major 7 with an E in the bass. Okay, so 3rd finger, just reaching up that little bit to mute the thicker string. Now this is a really interesting one to go from C chord First finger and third finger can stay where they are. Second finger drops down, little finger goes on. There's major 7, back to C. I'm making this look fairly easy. I know from my left-handed practice that this is not as easy as that, but that's a really nice way of practicing, is going from the C to this F major 7/C. There's quite a few songs that use this motion, this chord change of C to F or C to F major 7. So it's a really nice way of practicing it. Just taking your time and make sure that you get it right. So the last one I want to look at is the Mini F chord, and it's possibly the most useful because the F major 7, like I said, sometimes won't work when an F chord is written. Sometimes it sounds really good, sometimes it won't work. So if we have our F major 7th chord, but with our first finger we cover the thinnest 2 strings. So the first finger, we're using the pad of the first finger to cover the thinnest 2 strings. We can have this Mini F. It is just the top 4 strings of the big bar chord F. Very, very useful one, this one. The tip of the third finger wants to mute the 5th string, much like the F major 7 did. I mean, again, you could have it open. It doesn't sound obnoxious to have the 5th string, but the thicker string, that's definitely not really a winner. So you don't want to be playing the thicker string here at all. Again, this looks easy, but many of you are going to find it a little bit tricky to get here. Most times I found my first finger was sitting too far back and I wasn't able to get the note. So make sure the first finger is right up touching the fret there, like, you know, just behind it. You're also going to find the roundness of the second and third finger are likely to be a bit tricky. But with this one, you want to go for the first finger first, then reaching over the second finger, then the third. Be fine with the laying down thing. Again, you don't want this. That's awkward. Some of you might find it okay, but most of you are going to find the fingers wanting to lay down. So finding a way of laying them down where they're not touching the other strings is the ideal setting. Now, just to explain, you will often see me play it like this, with the thumb playing the bass note. I've been trying to have a go at doing the thumb over with Nitsudge and I'm not able to get it at all. It is far too difficult, so I wouldn't recommend you trying to do F chord like this with the thumb reaching over, for definitely until you're kind of intermediate level guitar player. Just in case you see me doing it in other lessons. I think before I'd learned it left-handed, I kind of assumed that it might be somewhat possible for beginners, but it just definitely isn't, so I wouldn't be going there. With this little Mini F, as I said, you want to go through and pick out the notes just one at a time. Take it off, put it down again. First finger again, second finger, third finger, strum. Pick out the notes one at a time. And off, take it off, there we go. Put it back, strum. This is a real common one, like D chord to F chord. So that's a really nice change to get. There's quite a few songs that have D to F in it. And it involves all of the fingers changing. That's definitely one that's going to be on your 1-minute changes practice routine. But yeah. The Mini F chord is very, very useful. I remember trying to learn F years ago, and you know, when I was first starting out, and I just couldn't get on with it at all. But the Mini F, I got there. Nitsudge is there. I can play the Mini F chord. Most of the time, it's a bit of a struggle to jump to it because it's a new feeling and it's a different shape. It feels awkward. It's going to feel challenging, but challenging is good. I'm hoping that you're finding the lessons here challenging. This is not the super easy grade 1 stuff anymore. These lessons should take you a little longer. They should be a little bit more challenging, but that's good. That's how you're going to get better. When it comes to song choices this week, make sure that you're choosing a few songs that are using the Mini F or the F major 7th chords to work them into your repertoire, because that's the key thing here, is taking the chords that you're learning and actually using them in songs, discovering how difficult they are, working out which chord changes you need. Some of it will be dictated by the songs that you choose. If you're not choosing a song that goes F to D, I would recommend replacing that in the practice routine and not practicing F to D. Practice F to G or F to A minor or whatever it is the chord changes are that you need to work on for the songs that you're doing. As usual, any questions in the comments below, and I'll see you for more very soon. Bye.